as well. So before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience. I can see you're in confusion. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So welcome on stage Suzanne Blake. PCC is an award-winning ICF certified coach, facilitator, and HR leader with 28 plus years of experience. Her coaching work has been featured on the Today Show, NPR, The New York Times, and Boston Globe, and numerous other media outlets. Suzanne has helped hundreds of seasoned and emerging leaders expand their capacity, make informed career decisions, grow their influence, build confidence, and accelerate momentum to their goals. Her coaching clients and training clients include Verizon, Delight, LLC, Amica Insurance, BCBS, EMC or Dell, Synthesis Switzerland, and Children's Hospital Boston. Wow, that's really wonderful. And the stage is all yours, Suzanne. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Melinda. I appreciate it. So I'm just waiting for the PowerPoint to come up. Melinda, if you could help me and help me with the participants to see it, because I don't see it on the stage. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you so much. Okay. Melinda, I'm waiting for the PowerPoint to come on. Well, I don't want to take too much time with this. Let's see if hello. Let's see if my backstage helpers can help me with this. What did you get on the chat, honey? One minute.
Yes, Suzanne. Do you
Thank
have
you,
any
Melinda. Yes. Somehow my PowerPoint is not coming up and it's uploaded.
Okay. Have you shared your PowerPoint presentation with us?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so do you want me to share from our side?
Okay, let's see if I can share my screen instead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see. We can see. We can see.
Sorry about that. Yes, I just want to get it to the beginning from everybody. So thank you for meeting and thank you so much for being here. I am so glad that you are here. And Melinda, can you see me as well as the screen or just the screen? Just the PowerPoint? Okay, you can see both. Great. Sorry about all that tech stuff, everybody. I'm so glad you're here to ask for more and get it. And this is a vital, vital skill that we all want to learn. And honestly, you heard I've been on the Today Show, in the Boston Globe, the New York Times, NPR. I never dreamed I wanted to get the word out about coaching. I was one of the first coaches to be certified. I never dreamed I had to be in all these negotiations. And honestly, I was giving everything away for free in the beginning of my practice. So I'm here to thank you for being here. And I'm here to show you some of the techniques that have helped myself and dozens of my clients, hundreds of people over the years. This is my most popular presentation, and I've delivered it to companies like Deloitte and a lot of other pieces where there's been a huge amount of negotiation before people even got their job. So thank you for being here with me. Okay, I'm trying to move the PowerPoint. All right, tech problems all the time, right? Let's see. Great. So, in order for us to be safe, we're going to talk about, and again, participate to the level you can. We're going to talk about your fears today. What stops you? What are your hesitations? Sometimes we have assumptions that aren't really true. Our mind is worried about us moving forward and it keeps us safe. So, please participate in this room. There's over 100 teachers in this room. So if you could participate and if you could please share your thoughts and everything, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Jacqueline, for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, is there anything else we need to make this a safe and positive experience for everybody? Are we all good? Okay, thumbs up. If you want in the chat, let me know if you're okay with this because I want everybody to feel safe being able to make this presentation a game changer for all of you. A big game changer for all of you. Okay, so one of my favorite, oops, Melinda, the slides are not moving forward even though I'm sharing. So now we have the next slide. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, sorry, I have to go off and go into another program to share the slides. So this is really important. Many people, I'm an entrepreneur, I charge a lot of money for my services. And people say, oh, what about that? Or, you really want some money to get coaching where you are. You have to know your worth. Don't expect somebody else to calculate it for you because most of the time they've got negotiation skills and they want to make sure that they're getting value. So think about that. So when somebody asks for a couple of hundred to $300 or $400 an hour, you're not getting just the hour. You're getting years in their experience. So you always want to think about your worth and what's the value and what's the transformational change you're going to get with this. Think about that next time you calculate your worth. Again, it's not just the hour, it's everything that goes behind it. So we're going to take a little poll now. Let's think about how are the differences between men and women. I was pleasure to be part of another negotiation, just a negotiation conference for women. And we had Dr. Suzanne Dijonez, who was a researcher in negotiation and studying it for years. And she gave me some great statistics. So if we could put up our poll now, let's see how many of you think this is true or false? Women see negotiation as going to the dentist. Women see negotiation as going to the dentist. And if we could see our poll. How many people think that's true? You could just put a T in the chat as we don't have our poll up now. How many people think that it's women see negotiation as going to the dentist? Who thinks that's true? Christina, Edra, Jacqueline. Who thinks that's true? Nobody? Guess what? It is true, unfortunately, and I want to change that. Okay, true or false? Men see negotiation as as a ball game. Men see negotiation as a ball game. How many people think that's true or false? This is the differences. Okay, thank you, Christina. Yes. How many people think this is true or false? Men see negotiation as a ball game. Is Christina the only gambling woman out there? Come on, take a guess. Thank you, Christina. Okay, guess what? Yes, sadly and true, men kind of go into it thinking, okay, well, that's going to be a great thing for me. All right, I'm going to change the slide. Just give me a minute here. And let's look at the statistics because it is important to see that women have really, really grown through the years in terms of, let's get my next slide up here. Yay. In terms of moving forward. In 2003, they were barely asking for any more money. They still are today. But notice the differences. Men expect to get what they want. In general, this is from Dr. DeGenes and her colleague, Barbara Cabrera. In general, many women don't expect to gain anything. And we got to learn from the men on this one. We always want to look at our vision of what we want. Superior athletes, business tycoons, wonderful poets, musicians, artists, homemakers. Visualizing what you want will help it come true. You get into the energy of that positive mindset, which makes all the difference in the world. So having a vision is very important. And if I can get this here, give me a second. I'm not going to give up. I wish I could negotiate with my computer, but that's not happening today. To move my slides forward. Okay. So the vision is asking for you want, and I hope you get a little chuckle out of this picture. But my coach always told me that. So again, I've been a special education administrator. I worked for a children's hospital and child guidance centers. I really didn't have a lot of corporate experience, so I hired someone to come in and train for me. But my coach always told me, have a vision, know what you want, and connect with that. And I say, I love this little luggage tab, know your worth, and then add tax. She always taught me, add more because they're going to expect you in general to negotiate. That's whether you're asking for a job offer again or sick time or whatever, especially if you're starting a new position. And as an entrepreneur, again, you're going to feel in a one down position, maybe. Oh, I have to get my clients to like me and buy this service. I want us not to be in that state. Having a vision, connecting it, seeing with it, and then again, always putting a little extra on it is the way for you to start your great mindset for negotiation. Now, is this easier said than done? Yes, sometimes it really is. But I want you to remember to bask before you ask, as you will see here. Ask before you ask. Think of all the positive things that you bring. You're not one down, you're helping someone. When I think about what I bring, yes, there were I didn't believe that I could help people. And there were times when I didn't trust myself and I was nervous to go into a big Deloitte contest with VPs from very big companies all over the place. But you know what we did? We got together before and we talked about what we wanted to bring. Again, we kept our vision. We thought about the young women in the room. It was a conference for young women to learn more about their chosen industry, and we wanted to inspire them. So remember what you bring to the table, but make it about the group or the person. What is in it for them? And think about, go back before you go to the negotiation. Read all your former references. Read what people have said about you, your LinkedIn profile, the emails that your clients have sent to you. Go in there prepared and feeling like you've got a lot. And by the way, I chose this background today because the sky is the limit. It's a muscle that you work. And once you get that muscle stronger, you can ask for many, many things. I've had many people, I've had a CFO, she's making almost $1 million a year, and she was afraid to ask for a seat at the table. Now, money doesn't often give us a sense of worth, but generally, if the corporation's paying you almost $1 million a year, that might mean that you want to pay attention, that you're delivering something to them of value. So it's not always, I've had people that were stay-at-home moms and had no income other than their partners. but you always have something to contribute. Don't walk in there without remembering that. And again, I'll change the slide. Give me just a second. My negotiation with the computer isn't working today. Okay, so does anybody know what your BATNA is? Anybody know what your BATNA is? Maybe some of you have been to business school or taken other negotiation classes. Technically, it's your bottom line. Know what you will not be able to do and what you might do and that what you want to do. Always have 3 different levels. How do you cultivate a positive mindset? Again, you visualize, do deep breathing, ask people what they think of you. Ask people to say, hey, I'm going into this negotiation. What worth do I have? What am I bringing to the table? And look at what other people are bringing to the table as well. Now, are people going to just jump up and down and say, yay, I want to give you more money? Maybe. But if they're not, you want to be prepared for lots of contingencies. Always be prepared. And usually, when you're going into a negotiation, more company to company, B2B, the person who is most prepared generally has the upper hand. But you can do that on an individual level too. So if people have hesitations, you don't want to say, oh, we'll work on that. Explore them. Maybe they say, well, we can't do that right now, right? If you're asking for a raise. Well, could you tell me why this isn't the best time? And they say, well, we won't get our fiscal reports until next month. Well, could we set another meeting for next month? A lot of times when I have people onboarding in a new job and they're not wild about the salary, we ask for an annual review 6 months into the tenure, because then they can prove themselves and show what they're worth. So find out what and why are the hesitations and see if you can find a middle ground. And again, emotions are really important. A lot of times people prepare themselves. I always warm up before anything. I was warming up today. So I'm walking around the room, I'm getting physical, I'm playing good music, I'm getting myself in I'm watching dog videos. I love to watch funny dog videos. So get yourself in a positive state. Maybe we want to all get up in our head and be all worried, but that doesn't help us. So do deep breathing, do whatever you have to do. And again, we're all in this together. We're all sisters together. We really want you, and I've had many women be the first person in big companies and small companies to be the first person to work part-time as executive. And remember job sharing that was popular way back when in the 80s and 90s? I've had people who were going out on maternity leave and coming back propose job sharing with another part-time mom from the same company in the same department. You would be surprised at what we've been able to negotiate. So they're all building and they're raising the glass ceiling on what women can ask for. I want you to be part of this sisterhood too. All right. Now, let's get to the meat of this. Our, again, mind, our amygdala are still programmed in cave people challenges, and it's going to want to keep you sick. Yes, we needed that when we were afraid, and we were in a ball game, and, our moms and dads would say, cover your face and, don't cheat on your test and everything. But tell your ego, the micromanaging ego, to take a hike because you don't need that anymore. You're a grown adult and you don't need that hyperactive amygdala. We want to get you into your left brain. So let's take a look at some reasons why we don't ask. And Sheikh, if we could put up the poll. So I have a little poll for all of you. And again, there's no judgment here. I've had many of these and I still do when I'm negotiating a big deal or even sometimes with my family on where we're going on a trip. So it would be wonderful if you could share your reasons why we don't ask. I'll tell you what used to get me again when I was dealing with big corporations, it was my self-worth. You know, who was I? Even though I had tons of training and I had been a representative for I mean, I've gotten a ton of affirmation that my services were good, but we don't often take those in and we let all the compliments go out of our heads. So could we have that poll, please? Anybody in self-worth? Anybody feel guilty? I've had many clients that have done that they're leaving folks behind, that they're in a bad environment and they're getting out, but they feel bad for their team or their colleagues. That's a common one. That's often a common one. Fear of success and failure. So here's a really good tip about that. Many of us are scared, understandably, to go into the unknown, right? We don't know what success will look like. We don't know if we will fail or not. We have lots of things at stake, but you want to remember. So you're moving, think about this. You're moving from a forest into a jungle. You're not going to lose all those navigation skills. You're not going to lose your compass. You're not going to lose your flashlight. You're not going to lose your knowledge of the terrain. But you are going into the jungle. So you have to learn more about what is going to make you successful in the jungle, but you don't leave your forest navigation tools behind. So I'd like everybody to pick, please. Yes. Shyness is definitely a piece. Shyness is definitely a piece. Well, we're going to give you an elegant and ego-preserving way to ask for this that may help. So everybody take a look at this because we're going to do a little spot coaching right on the spot. What are some of the things that might keep you from asking? Everybody pick one. And you may not pick the biggest one, right? You may not pick the biggest one. You may want to pick one, a medium one that you can work on as practice. Or you want to go for it, pick a big one. So we want to be bigger than our fear. I like to think of fear as fantasized experiences appearing real. So go back and think about whether or not your fear is really true. And so I'm just for the sake of time, I'm going to have somebody here on my team, my resume writer, who's fantastic, show you how this can help you debunk your fears. We're going to do it really quickly. All right. So this was something that really stopped me a long time ago was, again, charging money for my services. So, again, I'm still my coach is always telling me, ask for what you're worth. And sometimes I'm wondering, am I really adding that much value to this especially the big companies? I know what I add to my individuals, but what about this big company? They have a million coaches to choose from. So would you ask me the question, please? So my fear is that in a big company, I'm competing against hundreds of other coaches and trainers, and my fear is that I'm not worth it.
And do you really think that that's real or imagined? Do you have any other fears?
Ask me the second question. Okay, so the first question is, are my fears really true? So I think back and I think about, wow, I think about the big corporations I've worked for and all the different fees I've gotten, and they've been pretty good fees. And I think about what they pay other people. So, okay, maybe it's not 100% true. And the next question is, do I have any hard evidence?
Do you have any hard evidence?
Well, I had one company I had to negotiate with, but generally, again, I added admin fees and I didn't really have any issues with it. They were pretty good with it. So look how that works, right? Okay, the poll is coming up. Let's ignore the poll for now. Did I have any fears? Did I have fears? Yes. Were they true? No. So I want you all to think about that. Think about your biggest fear. Is it true? And do you have any hard evidence, right? Have your team said to you, oh no, you can't leave. Well, we won't survive without you. Or they're not going to see my worth, or they're not going to let me. Do you have any evidence? And maybe you've asked before, and maybe you didn't give them enough of the why. But think about that now. Think about that now. Do you have any real proof? Does anybody here have any real proof? What happened to all my chatters here? Anybody have any real proof? When you start to think of it this way, it really makes a difference, right? Is it just in your head? Aha, one of my folks said, no, you don't have any real proof, right? So you want to think about that. You want to get into your left brain, not your right brain. And if your fear isn't true, right now, I can remember the next big company that I negotiate with, that I don't have any reason to worry about that. I passed that test and people do see my value. So think about you. If your fear isn't true, how are you going to change your approach? And again, you may not want to jump right to this, but think about that awareness. What could you do differently if your fear isn't true? And we want to start in small steps, right? Small steps. So maybe start practicing and asking again, if you want to change your schedule. And I've helped many, many people do this so they could be present for their kids or make sure everybody got off to school in the morning, etc. Maybe you just try it for a month and you show your employer that you can do that, right? Negotiate with your family. All right, let's just try this. And then we'll course correct while we do it. So start small, maybe give people an experience of that. Can you at least view my PowerPoint and give me some feedback on it? Maybe before you ask them to adopt your ideas. Again, get their feedback and keep going. And think about what will remember to help you ask for more. You might want to have a sticky note. I'm sorry, our polls aren't working. You might want to have a sticky note. You might want to do something with a friend. Usually, again, when I want to go to the gym at the end of the day and it's 6 p.m., nobody's looking. I have no accountability. Get a friend to work with or a colleague at work. I am an accountability partner for many, many people. And don't judge them. Be their biggest cheerleader, but don't say, hey, you didn't do that. No, let's find out why. In coaching, we always want to talk about the why. Why didn't you do that? Maybe you need more practice. Maybe you need different verbiage. Maybe you want to rehearse it with me. Think about what's it going to take. All right. And as we get to the conclusion here. So when I teach customer service and when I help people negotiate, I always have them talking about the why. Why people do things is the number one way to tell them why, is to influence them and think about the WIFM. What's in it for me or them? So you want to make sure that you give context and background for it. Hey, I want to raise. No, this is what I've done in the past year, right? Or I've added 3 new accounts. And if you do want more life balance or pieces, you can always generally talk to your general practitioner and have them recommend that. If you're really stressed out or your health is being impaired by your job, you can generally get a doctor's note to help you support that and go to your HR team if it's really compromising. But in general, if you say, hey, taking this break at lunch, which is true, it's my number one thing, taking it true, taking this break at lunch will help me be more focused through the day and I can finish my reports on time. Always tell them the why. And doing this will allow me to help this and also the company. Always think about what's in it for them. So to keep us on track, think about a small action step that you could do as a result of this conference. We go to all these conferences, we hear all these great ideas. Put it in the calendar right now. And every time you get fearful, ask why. So I'm offering everybody here in the chat, on the conference, a complimentary session. It's not a heavy sell. I really want to help women. And I also have an online program you could go to on my website and check out the online program if you want to do things at home. But I can tell you and start to give you some tips on how to gain more confidence, upgrade your negotiation skills. If you don't know where you're going in your career, you don't know what your vision is within your personal life, I can help you with that too. And if you have executive functioning or time management and other challenges, that is also something I coach about. So let's see some action steps. Who's going to do what? Who's even going to put up a sticky note either on your computer at home? And you don't want 55 sticky notes because then they'll lose it. And you've probably seen on TV where people have sticky notes. You can talk to yourself in a mirror. You can take a wonderful class. LinkedIn has a lot of inexpensive and even free classes on negotiation. And spend more time with your vision. Make sure that you are connected to that vision. And again, keep your eyes on the prize so all the obstacles won't get in your way. Okay, so do we have any questions now? Any questions or comments?
Yeah, Suzanne, that was really fantastic speech today. Uh, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Melinda.
Yes. So if anyone wants to reach out to Suzanne Blake, so you can visit her website www.suzanneblake.com, and also she shared her email address as well. So if you have any questions, you can directly message her as we are running out of time. So let's move on to the another speaker session. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for the great presentation, sharing with the Global Virtual Summit 2024 for the day one. Um, so please inspire other speakers as well and join other event session as well. Thank you and have a nice
Thank you,
day.
Melinda. And you can schedule an appointment with me right through my website. Thank you, all the participants.
Sure.
Go get them.